Good afternoon, everyone. I was going to say good morning, but it's good afternoon. A very good afternoon. It's a lovely sunny day, a bit chilly out there, but I hope you're all fit and well and ready to go. So remember, as always, if you have any injuries at all, just make sure you listen to your bodies, rest anytime you need, just stick to the level you feel comfortable with. Maybe as we go through the weeks, you'll feel that you'll gain a little bit more strength so you can go up to higher levels, but just do what you can, don't do what you can't, basically. So setting ourselves up, standing nice and tall in our neutral standing Pilates stance, so heels underneath the bony parts of your hips. Just make sure that you've got a little bit of softness in the knees and the thighs and a lot of length in the spine. So just feel the top of your head just lifting up towards the ceiling. Open your shoulders, lift the chest and soften your ribs down towards the hips. Arms down by your sides, just make sure your pelvis is in that neutral position. So your tailbone isn't tucking under, nor is it tipping up towards the ceiling. It's just settled in that position in between. And then just draw your abdominals in, so feeling that connection to your core. Let's just bring the arms down by the side. Just roll your shoulders. Just take a gentle shoulder roll. Slide your shoulder blades back and down, then just bend your arms and just put your fingertips on the top of your shoulders. Lift your elbows up, so your elbows are forwards in line with your shoulders. And then we're just going to start to draw some circles with our elbows, as if you're drawing circles in the air with your shoulders. Bring your elbows forwards, lift them up, take them wide to the sides, behind and down. Just nice rotation there through your shoulder girdle, through your shoulder joint. Let's take the circles around the other way. Elbows forward, down, behind, and up and forwards again. Just keeping everything else nice and still, focusing on our breathing. So remember your lateral breathing here, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, into the sides and the back of the rib cage. Let's do one more elbow circle the other way. Elbows forwards, up, wide to the sides, and bring them down. Then lift your elbows forward now, so your elbows are more or less in line with your shoulders. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just tuck your chin in towards your chest and try and pull your elbows in towards each other, so you're rounding your upper spine. Get a really nice stretch across your upper back. Then breathe in. As you breathe out, straighten your spine. Take your elbows wide to the side. Look up towards the ceiling. Pull your arms, elbows together towards each other behind you, just lifting your chest, opening the front of the shoulders and your chest, then lengthen your spine and release your arms down by your sides. Take a big in-breath, reach your arms wide to the side, bring your palms together overhead and slowly draw your hands down towards the center of your chest. From here, breathe in. Just gently press your hands together. Fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, spread your fingers. Pull your arms down towards the side of your hips. And then take your arms wide to the sides, up overhead, palms together. Draw your hands down, prayer towards the center of your chest. Let's do one more reach up with the fingertips. Pressing through your hands and your arms, pull your arms down by your sides. Let your arms hang long and heavy. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just let your chin fall towards your chest. Let's slowly articulating your spine, so we're rounding the spine, the shoulders, the upper back, the mid back, so you're slowly coming down into your forward fold. Only go down as far as you feel comfortable to go. Just letting the arms hang if you can, bend your knees if you need to. Release your neck, just gently shake your head, nod your head when you've got as far as you want to go in that forward fold. And then breathing out, draw your navel in towards your spine. Slowly come up, restack your spine. When your shoulders are over your hips, look forwards. Let's take a big in-breath, reach your arms wide to the side. Look up this time as you bring your palms together overhead. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let's press away through the hands and the arms and slowly bring your arms down by your sides. Breathe in. As you breathe out, chin falls towards the chest again. And we just let the arms hang, or put your hands on your thighs for support if you need to. Maybe we can go a little bit further down this time if you didn't get all the way down last time. Maybe you can just rest your fingertips on the floor here. Again, just gently shake your head, nod your head. Don't hold any tension in your neck. Breathe in. As you breathe out, scooping the belly in. Let's slowly restack one vertebrae at a time, standing nice and tall at the top. Breathe in, arms wide to the side, palms together overhead. Look up. And then let's take the arms wide to the side and slowly bring them down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let's work the legs. Sit back in your squat. And then inhaling, press into your heels, lighten your toes, stand nice and tall. So just imagine there's a sofa behind you and you just kind of sit down in that sofa and then you just change your mind. So press into your heels, lighten your toes, straighten your legs, arms come down by your side. That sofa's just got a little bit lower. So maybe you can sit down a little bit deeper. Don't worry if you can't. Really press into your heels, squeeze your glutes, straighten your legs, stand nice and tall at the top. So really challenging now our leg muscles and our glutes. Can you stay here? Come up if you need to. Optional, lift your heels off the floor. Press them back down again, lift them again, and lower them. So now we're getting into our calves as well. Now lift and lower. See how you go with this. Lift your heels off the floor, put them down if you need to. If you can, just press into the front of your feet, straighten your legs, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, take your arms wide to the side, lower your heels down onto the floor. So you're still reaching wide to the side through your fingertips. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take a side bend. Let your left arm drop towards the floor. Take your right arm up and over. Breathe in, straighten your spine. Reach your arms wide to the sides. And exhaling, go the other way. Try to keep your hips, your pelvis level. So just feel like you're trying to pull your ribs away from your hip on that stretching side. Really good sideways stretch and also a really good flexion for your spine sideways. Try not to lean forwards or backwards. Let's do one more of those each way. Maybe we can reach a little bit further and maybe we can take that top arm over a little bit further. And last time. So just getting lots of mobility in our spine before we go onto the mat. Both of the arms down by your side. Just take a shoulder roller. Let's just do a little bow and arrow. Just get a little bit more rotation in the spine now. So just reach your arms forward so they're shoulder distance apart with your palms facing inwards. Breathe in. As you breathe out, right arm stays where it is. You're just going to bend your left elbow and draw your left elbow towards the wall behind you. Just following it with your eyes. And then breathing in, reach the arm forwards again. And then the other side, your right elbow bends, you're pulling it back. And breathing in, you're reaching it forwards again. So just imagine you're drawing an arrow back on a bow and arrow. Keep your pelvis still. Your hips are shining forwards all the time. They don't move. Just your upper body getting that rotation. Maybe we can just grow a little bit taller as we draw the elbow back, keeping the length in the spine all the time. Let's just do one more last time with your right elbow. Reach both of the arms forward. Let's float the arms up towards the ceiling again. Circle the arms wide to the side. Bring your arms all the way down towards the floor. So now we're going to roll down and come onto our hands and knees. So you need to be at the bottom end of your mat. So the length of the mat is in front of you. So heels under your hips again. If you've moved, remember to just reset your posture, standing nice and tall. Let's make it a little bit more challenging. Keep your arms down by your sides if you want to. Otherwise, just float your arms up towards sitting in line with your ears. Now soften into your knees. Breathe in as you breathe out. This time we're going to slowly fold over with our arms in line with our ears. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming down. So your chest is coming towards your thighs. Release your arms all the way to the floor. Bend your knees a little bit more. Let's walk out onto the mat, coming 3 hand paces forward. Drop your knees onto the mat, directly underneath your hips. So you might need to reset your hands and your knees. So just making sure your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. So really nice and square. So we're almost in a box position here, except we always try and maintain that natural curve in the back, but keeping the pelvis in the neutral position. We're going to carry on the theme of rotation in the spine. So we're going to thread the needle today. So probably many of you will be familiar with this, threading the needle. Let's start with our right arm. Let's breathe in and float your right arm up towards the ceiling. Follow the hand with your eyes. The arm is long and straight. Your right shoulder, try and stack it over your left shoulder. And then as you breathe out, we're going to bend gently into the right elbow and thread the left elbow, thread the right arm underneath your rib cage, reaching through with your fingertips. Then you're going to press into your left hand, straighten the left arm as you pull the arm through and reach it up towards the ceiling again. Really feel your chest and your shoulders open here. And then go again. So just you're softening into the left elbow, bend as much as you can so you get really good reach through with your right arm. So your fingertips are reaching towards the wall in front of you. And then coming up again, so we're going to do 5 of these. So this is number 3. So try not to pull your hips round with you. So keep your pelvis nice and square. You're flexing the hips as you lower down towards the floor, but we're not twisting the hips. So was that number 3? This is number 4 if it was number 3. Count for yourselves. I talk so much, I forget where I am with my counting. I can't even count to 5. That's not good news. One more last time. This is number 5. I'm pretty sure it is. Reach up. Excuse me. And then dive under again that last time. Thread the arm through. Can you reach it through a little bit further? And then just straighten your left arm. Put your right hand on the mat underneath your shoulder. Let's go on the left hand side. If anybody needs to, you can tiring through your wrist, just come onto your forearms. You could always thread the needle on your forearms if you need to. Let's go with the left arm. Breathing in, float the left arm up towards the ceiling. You're looking at your hand, both of your arms are straight. And breathing out, we're going to bend the right elbow this time as you thread the arm underneath your ribcage. Reach through your fingertips, hinging at the hips. Press into your right hand, straighten your right arm. Let's go again. Lift up, open your chest, open your shoulders. Breathing out, diamond. So it's almost like you're wringing out a towel here. You're getting a twist in the spine, breathing all the air out of your lungs. And then we're going to fill the lungs up with air as you lift the arm up. This is number 3, isn't it? Dive under, reaching through. So we've got 2 more to go. Rest if you need to. So good for strengthening our upper body as well. It's getting lots of mobility in our spine, shoulders, back. So this is our last one. Big reach up and then just threading under for that last time. Maybe you can go a little bit further through. Don't worry if you can't. And then press into your right hand, straighten your right arm. From there, let's just get a little bit of movement into the shoulders. So sit on your heels or just high heel. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Just roll your shoulders, a few shoulder rolls one way and then the other way, just loosening off around your back, your shoulders and your chest. So from there, we are going to come onto our front. So carefully make your way down into your prone position. So lying all the way down. So your hips, your chest, lying on the floor. Now stack your hands and rest your forehead very lightly on the backs of your hands. Keep the neck long so your nose is pointing down towards the floor. Feel the length through the top of your head. So have your arms folded, elbows bent, but your elbows are a little bit lower than your hands here. Lengthen your spine and just imagine, excuse me, imagine you've got butterflies underneath your belly button. So they're fluttering around. We don't want to squash them. So navel to spine here. Gently just pressing your pelvic bone down into the floor. So we're just feeling that openness in the lower back there. Now we're just going to pin the legs together today in this prone position. So the front of the feet should be flat on the floor. Your toes are resting on the floor. Sorry. Draw your shoulder blades back and down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, without pressing into your arms, just float your head and your chest away from the floor. Use your back muscles. Feel that work in your mid, your upper back. Ribs stay down, chest lifts. Breathe in, slowly lower back down again. Your forehead is going to rest really lightly on the backs of your hands. And go again, lengthen, top of the head, reach it forwards and then lift up. Just the head and the chest, arms are really light on the floor. We can make this a little bit more challenging. So we're going to bring the arms up with us if you can. So next time you breathe out, your forehead's glued to the backs of your hands, your elbows are wide, and now we're just going to lift the arms as well as the chest away from the floor. And breathe in, lower back down again. Let your elbows, your arms come all the way down. Relax your shoulders before you go again. Exhale, lengthen. and lift. So a lot more challenging now. You've got the weight of your arms for your back to lift off the floor as well as your head and your chest. So a lot of work here. Keep your arms on the floor if you need to. One more level. If anybody wants to work a little bit more, keep your legs pinned together on your exhale. We're going to lift the legs at the same time as you lift your upper body. Squeeze your glutes, reach through your toes. So get your knees off the floor if you can. Legs are straight. Breathe in, lower your legs, lower your upper body all the way down. Any pinching in your lower back, maybe you don't want to lift your legs, or keep pressing your pelvic bone down into the mat. Both ends of the body lift, lengthen, top of the head to your toes. So we don't need to lift the legs too high, just trying to get the knees off the floor. Let's do 3 more, if you can, lengthen and lift. Make sure you're strong in your glutes and your core. Don't let your tummy push down into the mat, pull it in all the time. And 2 more. So we're really working those muscles that are responsible for our posture, for keeping our spine nice and straight and strong. Let's do one more last one. And slowly come back down. From there, let's just put the hands under the shoulders, press into your hands, come up onto your hands and knees again. Again, if you want to, we're only going to do a cat stretch. If you want to, you can always come down onto your forearms. Otherwise, on your hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under the hips, spines in neutral. Breathe in as you breathe out. Let's just tuck the tailbone under, scoot the belly in, round the spine, chin to chest. Press into the palms of your hands a little bit more. That really lovely stretch across your upper back, that area we just worked in. So just really counterbalance that extension we did by really flexing your spine. And then from there, just having held that stretch just for a moment or two, just lengthen back into your tabletop position. So from there, we're going to go onto our side today now. So come and lie on one side, it doesn't matter which side you lie on. And we're going to do a couple of versions of the clam today. So working around our hips, our glutes and our legs as well. So starting off, lying on your side with your knees bent. So have your heels drawing round to your sit bones. So your heels, sit bones and your shoulders are in alignment with the back side of your mat. So we're really nice and square here. Try and feel balanced both sides of the body. So your hips are stacked. So you should have a little space underneath your sideways there. If you haven't, just push your hips towards the bottom end of the mat. So you'll feel that inner sideways just lift away from the floor. So we're really lengthened in our spine. Shoulder away from the ear, eye gaze forward. So you can keep your hand on your hip. You can put your hand on your thigh, top of your leg, or if you want a little bit more stability, just rest your fingertips on the floor. So clam, level 1. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just open the top knee, keeping the feet together, bringing the knee up towards the ceiling, and breathing in, lower it back down. Very lightly touching down. Let's go again. Pull the knee away. And inhale and close. Try not to press the knees together. So very lightly touching down. So keep this top leg active. Open and close. So don't take the knee too high up to the ceiling. Otherwise, we're going to roll that top hip backwards. So we want to keep the hips still. Top hip stacked over your bottom hip. Let's keep going with this nice and slowly. So really challenging with glutes, the hips, the thigh muscles. Keeping that engagement in your core as well. We're going to do that 3 more times. Just open and close, just like a clamshell. 2 more. And last time, pull away and close. Okay, so your next option now is to keep your knees down and just float your feet away from the floor. Feet towards the ceiling, knees stay down. Same again, so this is a level 2 clam. So breathe in as you breathe out, exactly the same motion through the hips. So just opening and closing again, pull away and close. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of leg work here if you want to come with me. Otherwise, just stay with this. You can do the next part of the sequence with your feet up or down. So now we're going to open the top knee. Then we're going to extend extend the top leg away, reaching through your toes, make sure your leg is slightly forward of midline, then keeping the knees open, we take the feet back together again, and then we close the knees. Exhale, open the knees, feet together, inhale, stretch your top leg away, reach through your toes. Exhaling, put your feet together, knees wide, and then inhale, close. Good. Let's do that 3 more times. Open, extend, feet together, and close. 2 more. So we're just getting that length out of your hip as you stretch the leg away. You don't need to add in that leg extension if it's not for you. Stretch away again last time. Feet together, close the knees. If your feet are up, put your feet down on the floor. Then just bring your top knee forward of your bottom leg just to release off. Just maybe give your hip, your glutes, a little bit of rub and a pat just to release off there. And we're going to do all of that again on the other side. So you might just be able to roll over onto your other side or come up to seated and lie down again. Just set yourself up. So find a really good posture when you're lying down here. Heels, sit bones, shoulders in alignment. Make sure your eye gaze is forward, so keeping the length in your neck. Head on bicep. If you need to, you could always prop your head on your hand if you prefer to have your head just lifted away from the floor. Put your arm where your neck feels the most supported, preferably head on your bicep or on a cushion. Hand on your hip, hand on your 5 fingertips on the floor. Make sure you're lined up with the back side of your mat and strong in your abdominals, ready to go. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just open the top knee. And as you breathe in, slowly close, barely touching down. Let's pull away again. And close. Just imagine you've got rubber bands wrapped tightly around your knees. So you have to really pull away to get that top knee away from the bottom knee. Keep going with that. Try and relax your upper body. Keep the shoulders and the chest wide and open. So remember where we're breathing laterally into the sides and the back of the rib cage. We've got 3 more to go. 2 more. And last time like that. Keep your feet down if that's what you prefer to do on this side. That if you can, knees stay down. We lift the feet off the floor. High climb or level 2 climb. And let's go again, open the top knee, and then slowly close, barely touching again, it's open and close. So we're going to add in that leg extension. You can do it with your feet down if you want to. Exhale, open the top knee. Inhale, stretch your top leg away. Make sure you can see your foot when you look down, then look forwards again. Feet together, knees open, then close the knee. Open, stretch the top leg away. Feet together, and close. So really start to feel that in your hips and your glutes. If you feel the burn, it's working. Let's do that 3 more times. Just pointing your toe, reaching through your toes. 2 more. And 1 more last time. And then knees together, feet down if you did lift your feet, and then bring the top knee forward. Just give your hip a little bit of a pat there, or a little rub. Then let's roll over onto our backs. So now we're focusing a little bit more on core strength and mobility, shoulders, hips and legs. So if you wanted to, I haven't got one, but if you want to put your head on a cushion, a block or a folded up towel, just pop that underneath your head now. Otherwise, just make sure the base of your skull is just resting on the mat, so you've got the length in the back of the neck stays open. You're in your neutral line semi-supine position here, so your knees are bent, heels, knees and your hip bones or your sit bones, they're in a neutral alignment, hip distance apart. Arms on the mat down by your sides with your palms facing down, just trying to pull the shoulders gently away from the ears. Make sure that your pelvis is in that neutral position. So let's all just find that. So just flatten your lower back in flat, just your lower back, press it down, then arch it away. And then find that position in between, settle in neutral. So your lower back's on the mat, but you've got a natural curve underneath there. So you could just maybe just slide your hand just underneath your lower back there. Some of you will have a bigger gap than others. Remember, it's all built very differently. But as long as your lower back stays on the mat lengthened, by drawing your lower abdominals in, so make that connection to your core. You should keep your back nice and safe there. So hands on the mat, palms down. Make sure your ribs are softened down towards the hips as well here. So let's breathe in. As you breathe out, all we're going to do is going to float the arms up towards the ceiling and take them towards the floor behind you without overflowing your rib cage. Breathing in, bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling, pull the arms back down, just bring them to a hover in line with your hips. Going again, exhaling, the arms are going back. Inhaling, they're coming back up and over. So we're just working through the arms, the shoulders, the chest. Nothing else should be moving. So we're going to do 4 of those. So this is number 3. So nothing too challenging there. You don't need to take your arms so far back. If it's uncomfortable in your shoulders, just reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Now bring your arms back. So they're just hovering off the mat in line with your hips. Just keep your arms completely still. Breathe in as you breathe out. Just lift your left foot off the floor and bring your left leg to a tabletop position, knee over your hip, heel in line with your knee. Breathing in, put the foot back down. Then your right foot lifts, right leg to tabletop. So keep the shape of the leg the same, just lifting alternate feet off the floor. And let's do one more with your right foot, keeping, again, always keeping that lower back on the mat all the time. Let's put those 2 together, arms and legs now. So breathe in. As you breathe out, the left foot lifts, leg to tabletop as both of the arms go back towards the floor behind you. And then breathing in, the foot goes back down as your arms just come to that hover just above the mat. Same, right leg, knee over hip. Keep the heel in line with the knee. Arms go back, arms come back down just to that hover, foot comes on the floor. One of those each side. So I'm just going to build on these exercises with the arms and the legs. So let's do one more with the right leg, tabletop, arms go back. You can stay with this, you can stay working the arms only or the legs only. Next option, let's just switch it up a little bit. If you feel strong, we're going to lift the feet off the floor one at a time, bring both of our legs to tabletop. So your knees are over your hips, heels in line with your knees. So stay there, keep your legs completely still. You don't need to move to feel that challenge in your lower abdominals, just to keep your feet off the floor with your legs in this position. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, float the arms back towards the floor behind you. Again, try not to let your rib cage hyperextend. So don't let it pop up. And then pull the arms back down by your sides as you breathe in. And then you're going just working again, same as we did with the feet on the floor, but feel the difference with your feet off the floor. Let's do 2 more like that. Keeping the legs completely still, keeping the breath into your upper body. And last time like that. Then bring the arms back down. Just let your arms hover in line with your hips. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lower your left toes down towards the floor. Breathe in, bring the knee back over your hip, then your right toe. So toe tap. So tap down and lift up. Remember your options. Both of your feet on the floor and lift and lower alternate legs rather than lower and lift them. So let's put those 2 together again. Both of the arms go back as your left toe taps down towards the floor. Arms up and over by your sides as your knee comes over your hip. Then your right toe taps down as your arms go back. Arms by your sides, knee over your hip. And let's go again. So just making sure that we keep the torso really still here. Your lower back doesn't arch off the floor. And let's do 2 more each side if you can. Rest if you need to. You can always just hug your knees in towards your chest if you feel you need a break. So probably feeling really challenged by now. A lot of work in our core muscles here. And last time, right toe taps down, arms up. Just put your hands on top of your knees. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then just take a little rock from side to side, just allowing your lower back and your hips to release onto the mat there. Then put both of your feet on the floor one at a time. Now just find that same neutral alignment and just put the arms on the mat down by your sides with your thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. So we're going to bring a little bit more focus out onto the upper abdominals. So palms face in, thumbs to ceiling, shoulders away from your ears. This time we're going to breathe in as we float the arms back towards the floor behind you. Again, try not to let your ribcage pop up. And then as you breathe out, we're going to press away through the hands and the arms and sweep the arms in a big circle towards your hips again, or semicircle. Breathing in, arms go back this time, so we reverse the breathing with the arm movement so we can exhale, really press away through our arms and our hands as they come down by our sides. Let's do that 2 more times. Just very basic arm circles, but really good for working across the arms, the shoulders, the chest, mobility in our shoulders, our chest as well. One more last time like that. Big in breath and breathe out. Now we're going to add in a chest curl or curl up. So breathing in, the arms are going to go back. As you breathe out, we're going to sweep the arms round by our sides. We're going to peel the head and the shoulders off the mat. We'll reach your fingertips forward. Breathing in, slowly lower your shoulders and your head down as your arms go back. And breathing out, again, still pressing away, pulling your arms through the air as we peel the upper spine off the mat. Keeping that space in between your chin and your chest. So imagine you've got a little tangerine just up there underneath your chin. So you've got to hold that in place. I'm going to give you an option now. If you want to work a little bit more, keep your arms back. Lift your feet off the floor one at a time. Bring your knees over your hips, legs to tabletop. And then carry on with your curl up. Sweep your arms around. So now you should be just looking in between your thighs. Breathing in, arms go back, and breathing out, arms sweep round and peel the head and shoulders away. One more last option, we're going to add a single leg stretch to this. So do your curl up, only if you've got your knees over your hips, looking through your thighs, reach your arms forward. As your arms go back and your head and shoulders release down, stretch your right leg away to about a 45-degree angle. Reach through your toes. Bring the knee back in, over your hip as your arms circle round and you peel your head and shoulders off the mat. Shoulders and your head go down, stretch your left leg away, extend it fully if you can, reach through your toes. And then curling up, arms circle round, knee comes back over your hip. So it's a single leg stretch with your curl up. So both of the knees over your hips as your head and shoulders peel off the mat. And then just keep going, alternating the leg that's stretching away. If you want to do the single leg stretch, just take your arms back and stretch your legs away. You don't need to do the curl up. If you're getting challenged in your neck or your shoulders, just keep your head and shoulders down and just take your arms back and extend one leg away. Keep going if you can. Or just put your feet back down on the floor. Go back to your arm circles. One more last time if you can. If you're doing your leg stretches, one more each side, finishing with your left leg extending away. If you started like me with your right, then keep your head and shoulders down as you bring your knees in. Hands on top of your knees again, just take that little gentle rock from side to side. You might even feel like you just want to gently turn your head from side to side as well, if you've got tension built up in the back of the neck. So let's put the feet down on the floor. Let's work the back of the body. So going very slowly through lots of different muscle groups today, so we're working well. So lie on your back. Now, if you did put anything underneath your head, block or a cushion or anything, just slide that away for your bridge. So we want the back of the head on the mat for your bridge. Walk your heels in towards your sit bones, nice and close, about hand distance away. Find your alignment, your heels, your knees and your sit bones, legs hip distance apart. Arms light on the mat down by your side, so your fingertips are just reaching towards the bottom end of the mat. Again, focus on that, still keeping the pelvis in neutral, core engaged. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let's tuck the tail under, just flatten your lower back into the mat. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just peel the lower back off the mat again. So just a little pelvic tip and a tilt to start off, just mobilizing just that lower portion of the spine. So if you just want to stay there, that's fine. Otherwise, let's come up into our bridge next time. So on your next exhale, tuck the tail, flatten your lower back into the mat, engage your glutes and slowly peel your spine away from the mat, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Gently pushing your knees forward, you can press into your feet, your heels here, And on your next exhale, let's slowly come down, imprint your spine down onto the mat. Try not to press into your arms. Use the back of the body, the glutes, the legs to come up into your bridge. So just your arms are just resting like on a bed of cotton wool here. When you come up as well, we're trying to aim for a ski slope position, a straight line from your kneecap all the way down to your shoulders. So we don't want to we don't want to hyperextend, we don't want the rib cage to flare up. And let's go again. So you can stay with this, or you can go back to those little pelvic tilts at the bottom if you become fatigued. Let's just add in a little bit more work in our bridge if you feel you can. So let's come up, and only if you know you can stay up in a really strong bridge. So really powering up here, firing up your glutes. Pelvis is level and your knees are still hip width apart. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let's just lift the heels off the floor. Breathe in without letting your hips drop. Push your heels back down onto the mat. Exhale, so just some little calf raises here. Push your heels back down again. Let's do that 3 more times. Squeeze your glutes, lift the heels. Push your heels down. 2 more if you can. So we're really getting into our legs here. Hamstrings, calves, glutes. Was that 2 more to go? Last time, lift the heels. Push your heels down. Stay here if you can. Let's breathe in. Flip the arms up towards the ceiling, towards the floor behind you. Maybe you can let your arms rest behind you on the mat. If that's okay with your shoulders, keep your arms there. Breathe in as you breathe out. Slowly melt your spine back down onto the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. And then keep your arms where they are. Slide your heels along the floor. Point your toes and take a really well-deserved full body stretch, reaching fingertips and toes to opposite sides of the room. See how long you can be. Then bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Then let your arms rest on the mat down by your sides. Relax your feet. Slide your feet in 1 at a time. So we've done a fair bit of work in the glutes and the hips in our bridge and when we're doing our climb as well. So let's just work on those, just stretch them a little bit. So lying on your back with your knees and your feet hip distance apart, just lift your right foot off the floor, take your right ankle just above your left knee. Push your right knee wide to the side and flex your right foot. So already you should feel a little bit of a stretch there into the side of the right glute and into your hip. So you might just feel that's enough for you. If you want a little bit more, lift your left foot off the floor and reach your hands through behind your left thigh and just pull the left knee in a little bit closer so you're hugging your left knee in towards you all the time, keeping that right knee nice and wide so you get a really nice stretch that encourages that, intensifies the stretch on the right hand side there. You might even want to lengthen your left leg and point your toes up towards the ceiling. You might not. You might want to keep the left leg bent. Let's bend the left leg anyway now. Put your left foot on the floor. Let's just hug that same knee, the right knee, hug it in towards your chest. Circle your ankle, a few circles one way, then a few circles the other way. Let's extend that same leg, the right leg, up towards the ceiling. Take your hands behind your thigh. Maybe you can slide your hands up your leg behind your calf, as long as you keep your lower back on the floor. Breathe in as you breathe out. Just gently pull that leg in a little bit closer. Don't overstretch, just hold that stretch. So we're getting into our hamstring there. Then we're going to stretch the calf as well. So just push your right heel up towards the ceiling. So feel that in your calf, all the way down the back of your leg. A really good stretch there. Again, if it's uncomfortable, just release it off or bend your knee a little bit. And then bend your knee, put your right foot on the floor next to your left foot. Left foot lifts off the floor, the left ankle, just rest it above just above the right knee. Push your left knee wide, flex your left foot. Stay with your right foot on the floor if that's your choice. Otherwise, lift your right foot off, hands through. It's just interlacing your fingers behind your right thigh. Pull the right knee in, keeping the left knee nice and wide. And then if you want to, just reach your right toes up towards the ceiling, lengthening your right leg. And then bend your right knee, right foot on the floor. Just hug your left knee in towards your chest. Serve your ankle. And then the other way, just getting some movement into your ankle joint. And then extend the left leg for your hamstring stretch. Hands behind your thigh. Maybe you can slide your hands up behind your calf. Then hold on behind your knee. Either your thigh or your calf. Just gently pulling the leg in, keeping the tailbone on the floor. Then we're just going to push the left heel up towards the ceiling. It's almost like you're trying to curl your toes in towards your shin there. So feel it all the way down the back of the leg. Probably not that comfortable, but it's a really good stretch. And then from there, just bend your left knee. Put your left foot on the floor next to your right foot. Pin your knees and your feet together. Take your arms wide to the side, palms to ceiling. And now just let your knees fall away from each other and bring the soles of your feet together. So your butterfly pose. So your knees are wide to the sides. Just opening up your hips a little bit there. Just relaxing into your inner thighs as well. Just take a breath or two there. You can stay there if you want to. Otherwise, come with me. Let's pull the knees in towards each other. One at a time, lift your feet off the floor. We're going to come up to seated. So if you need to just roll onto your side to push yourself up to seated, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, let's roll ourselves up. Come to a seated position. So we've done lots of leg stretches, hips and glutes. Let's just stretch your upper body a little bit. If you're happy to do so, just sit with the soles of your feet together. Otherwise, if that's not for you, just cross your legs or lengthen your legs even, but just keep a little bit softness in the knees. So nice hip opener, seated with your soles of your feet together if you can. Shoulders over your hips, sit really nice and tall. Hands on the mat by the side of your hips, shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take your left arm up and over, bending into your right elbow. Really good side stretch there. And breathe in. As you breathe out, sweep the arm back up and over, hand on the mat down by your side. Breathe in. As you breathe out, go the other way. And it's your right arm coming up and over, but don't let your right sit bone come away from the floor. And then bring your arm down by your side. Let's reach your arms wide to the sides. Breathe in. As you breathe out, twist round to the right. As far as you can go. Then let your left hand rest on top of your right knee. Your right fingertips are just going to rest lightly just behind your tailbone. Then lengthen your spine. Look over your shoulder towards the wall behind you without leaning backwards. Just getting that twist in your spine. And then let's float the arms again, reaching wide to the side, twisting to the left. So your right hand, just rest it on the outside of your left knee. Fingertips behind your tailbone with your left hand. Lengthen your spine, look towards the wall behind you, try not to lean backwards. So a really nice twist, stretch in our rotation there. And then just come forwards, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Take your arms wide to the side, take your hands behind your hips, a little bit wider than your hips. Breathe in. As you breathe out, push your chest forwards and upwards. Look at the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades in towards each other and down towards your hips. So really feel the front of the chest, your shoulders opening. Breathe. Then just gently walk your hands to your side of your hips. Now reach your arms forward. Interlace your fingers. Turn your hands inside out. Push your hands forward. Straighten your arms. Pull your shoulder blades wide across your back. A lovely stretch across your mid, your upper back. Breathe. Then we're just going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Push your hands up towards the ceiling this time. Trying to lift up out of your hips, really stretching. And then let your fingers go. Slowly bring your arms all the way round and let your arms release down by your sides. You will probably just want to lengthen your legs a little bit there. Give your legs a shake, roll your shoulders. Thank you very much for participating in my class today. Sorry